Happy Thursday, everyone. What an awesome day of DFS sports, regular sports we've got going on. We have the U.S. Open just started. We've got the NBA Finals tonight, Game 6. I'll be doing a little video on that a little bit later on today. And we've got baseball coming up, which is what this is all about. This is my DFS 5 and 5 video. We're going to do 5 plays of the day in 5 minutes. Of course, I talk fast, so you know I'm going to run through a bunch of other plays as well. But let's get right to it. We got Trevor Story versus a lefty at home and Matt Strahm, highest projected run total on the board for Colorado. Trevor Story just mashes left-handed pitching at home. He's got a 365 ISO since the start of 2018, a 300 ISO versus this pitch type, and a 282 ISO versus lefties overall this year. Like, I just think that it's a great spot. He's expensive. He's going to be chalky. As a pivot, I'm going to mention, like, this is more of a cash play because everybody's going to try and play him. I think the guy you play as a pivot is Tatis Jr. Like, he's the same price. I don't see people going there as much. And then Machado is my other shortstop that I would use. But just wanted to mention Story because I do think he's one of the elite plays. And even as a tournament player, it's a guy I'm going to have a lot of exposure to. Let's move over to the outfield. We're going to talk about David Peralta from Arizona. Look, this is a good hitter versus a bad pitcher. You got basically as simple as that. Who's too cheap? David Peralta has a 267 ISO versus righties this year. He is a guy who people tend to overlook, along with the rest of the Diamondbacks in DFS. They're in a good spot tonight. I don't think I want to fully stack them, but Peralta stands out as the best play. Good sinker ball hitter against a sinker ball pitcher, 232 ISO versus the pitch type. I think this is a really good spot for Peralta, and he's a guy who I don't think is going to be incredibly high owned, although I do expect him to have some ownership. Want to jump over to another guy who is in the game that everyone's going to target, but I'm wondering how much he's going to get played because I think people are going to pay down in the outfield more. I do think he'll have some action, but it's Hunter Renfroe. This guy has just been crushing righties all year. He's got a 324 ISO this year. Against the same hand, he's just really been mashing, and you have like this guy plays in San Diego. He's now in Coors against John Gray, who happens to match his pitch type really well. By the way, I know you don't all care about BVP, but you've got a guy with 3 home runs and 6 at-bats against Gray. 324 ISO versus righties, like I mentioned. Good spot. 5,200 on DK. Probably expensive for a lot of people. I'm trying to pay up in my outfield and pay down at pitching as much as I can. So Renfroe's a guy I'm going to target a lot, and I'm curious where the ownership's going to be on him. Another guy I like who I think is going to be low-owned and expensive because of Coors is Cody Bellinger. You got a guy with a 296 ISO this year versus lefties who people just don't play. He's been the best hitter in baseball this season, and I think this is a really good spot. John Lester is not what he used to be. I've always thought he was overrated. You also have weird stolen base upside. I know Lester's been a little bit better, but Bellinger will go. I mean, he's been caught a lot, but he'll go. And sort of like that, too, so it sort of protects against the walking him intentionally, which a lot of people have been doing, or just pitching around him in general. But people don't realize this guy has just as much power against lefties, if not more, that he does against righties. Sure, there might be some more downsides. Maybe his WOBA is not as high. We're playing for home runs and stolen bases and things like that, extra base hits. This is where a good matchup for Bellinger, where he should be a little bit off the board. And then the last guy I'm going to mention is a back-to-the-well guy, and I sort of mean the whole Blue Jays stack. They all sort of match up really well against the pitch type of Manoah. Even though he is a ground ball guy, I don't like the idea of stacking against him. I really want to get 2 and 3 mans. And the guy I'm going to the most is probably going to be Randall Grichuk after he let everyone down last night. 4,200 still on DK, which is reasonable. 305 ISO versus pitch type. You have an extreme fly ball hitter versus a ground ball pitcher. Really good spot for Grichuk. Really good spot for a lot of the Blue Jays. The weirdest part, though, they can be so inefficient at times. I'm almost considering Manoah as a spend down. If I didn't have some interest in Homer Bailey, I might even be having him a little bit more. But I do think that for the most part, it's going to be exposure to the Blue Jays bats. Grichuk, Guerrero being the main 2. Guerrero's another guy that should be able to crush this pitch type. Really like him as a ground ball against ground ball pitchers in general. So Grichuk's my other guy. Any questions? Hit me up on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch. I don't care, anything. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll keep doing these free videos for a while until the site's up. And even once the site's up, we're going to be giving away free information. So why not tune in? Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate you. See you soon. Good luck tonight.